Thank you, French. Much shalom, greetings to you all. Now, I'm a little bit late and I apologize. But as spring finally approaches, I want you all to look forward to renewal in your life. Think of what new area of growth can you cultivate? Can you allow the flowering of spontaneity? Can you allow the flowering of real strength by showing your heart? These are the things that we need to think about when renewal comes and when we have the chance for our makeover. And I have to tell you, my 12-day makeover renewal has been fantastic so far, and I hope all of yours are too. Each day I'm getting an opportunity to imprint my will on the blank canvas of creation. And during this time, I have come to the conclusion that absolutely anything is possible and that there is even hope for my singing. Now, I don't know how many of you have heard the latest from the Nobel winner, but Bob Dylan singing is better on his new album Triplicate than ever before. It is his continuation to explore the Great American Songbook, and the choices of songs are inspiring. And of course, I'm inspired by all the energy and sharing of your thoughts and feelings and hopes and dreams and wishes in this great group of fellow soul searchers coming together every week in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach. So let's come together. And please do go ahead and invite everybody you know, physically or spiritually, to gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Come together. Hine Matov u'manai shevet ahim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manai shevet ahim gam yachad. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community, 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 together. Now, we are a community together, my friends. We share our ups, our downs, our celebrations, our joys, our sorrows, our gains, our losses, our thoughts, our feelings, because it is a safe environment for so doing. Now, I know you know, but I will remind you that Passover is just a few days away. And next week, other than being the second half of the Festival of Freedom, Easter, the one being freedom from fear, the other being freedom from sin, is what is known as the intermediate days, Chol HaMoed, and our regular reading is suspended. Now, I know some will be pleased by that, but hang in, friends, the Book of Rules is not that bad. Now, this second foray into the Book of Ritual and Regulation begins by talking about a different kind of sacrifice. This is tzav, command. Now, Leviticus 6:1. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, command Aaron and his son, saying, this is the teaching of the burnt offering. Now, Leviticus repeatedly introduces a particular set of regulations with the phrase, this is the teaching. The word for teaching is Torah. It's the first of many times the word Torah appears in the Bible. So when we talk about the Torah, we're talking about a collection of teachings. And this book's a little bit different. It is simply the teachings. And it was much later in history that these 5 books became collectively known as the Torah. Okay, but so this one is just, it's different. It's simply the teachings. Now, for example, we were just introduced to a type of sacrifice, the burnt offering. One that is completely burnt, incinerated, not for consumption. Total sacrifice to God. And it burns all night, Leviticus 6:2. And the altar's fire shall be kept burning through it. Now, the fire stays burning. The sacrifice is completely burned, and the priest wears the special priestly garments when he gathers the ashes in the tabernacle courtyard. But he changes to other clothes when he carries the ashes out of the camp. The reason is because sacred garments can only be worn in sacred places. This book is going to be developing the rules and regulations of ritual and the whole concept of zones of holiness. And perhaps more noticeable in the biblical Hebrew than in some translations, the entire passage about the burnt offering is dominated by terms related to burning, as if to focus the idea of a sacred fire that burns perpetually, coordinated with the sacrificial fire that entirely consumes the burnt offering. Now, the word for burnt offering, or Holocaust, olah, is not derived from a root that means to burn, but rather from the verb to go up, as in ascending to heaven, which of course suggested the idea that the whole sacrifice goes up to heaven in smoke. Now, I know that sounds a little like a Cheech and Chong movie, but that is what was portrayed. And friends, through this parsha, we turn a corner, and everything now is about the separation of the priesthood from the people, and about how the priests are to conduct various sacrifices. Now, we read instructions for grain offerings, guilt offerings, offense offerings, and others. You will never be asked the process for any of them. Now, many try to categorize and understand how each sacrifice was determined and how it was worked. It's not about the process. It's about the substance. Friends, in these lonely parts of Leviticus, find the crumb that you can take, the one inspiration, the one thought that strikes you. If nothing else, begin to think of the sacrifice you'll be making for Passover next week as you refrain from certain foods. And we will post a service in advance for people to be able to understand and participate in whatever fashion they choose. Remember, it is a time of the year when people the world over gather in celebration of the right to be free, the right to restore themselves to health and happiness. Right? So let's all together take a moment and send restorative energy out to everyone as we express gratitude for what we each have in our lives and renew spirit and energy with and for each other. Take time to be thankful for all the wonders of life, our health, our happiness, our families, our friends, the like-minded support and care we get, and the great love that envelops us all. And let's share that goodwill and love with those in need and send out positive energy to help heal those in need of healing and help renew those in need of renewal. Remember, sending goodwill, love, peace, thanks. It's such an easy thing to do. Transmitting energy, just thinking is the transmission to everybody you know in need or want. Being free is a time that signals healing. So let's send out healing energy to all who need it, especially to Paris and to Suzanne. But think of those you know, for them, for everyone, for all of you. For love, for renewal, the kindness, healing wishes, goodwill, and love. You all send out circles of the word. Oh, the dogs need it too. Finding those in need. So thank you, each of you. Me. Sheberech. Avoteinu. Makor habracha. Limotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Mishaberach. Let us all, everywhere the world over, have our spirits renewed. Now, we spoke before about how the entire Torah is a series of events around the distinction, division, or separation of things. From the creation stories in Genesis, when the waters above and below were separated, when the land was separated, when the lights in the sky were separated, the waters of the Red Sea in Exodus being separated to allow the people to walk through. Now to the function of the priesthood in Leviticus. And you will see it even more in food and sacrifice, in relationships. It's all about distinction, division. That's what's going to be the main theme that you're going to see from Leviticus on. Now, this book of ritual law has special significance because it tries to bring together the concept of space and time. God tells Moses to command Aaron and his sons to keep an eternal fire burning at the altar. And the law provides for a visual expression of the idea that the ritual structure that's starting here to prevail for all time to come is about the fire. And this fire is not to be quenched. It's also reminiscent of the account in Exodus of Moses' encounter with God at the bush that burns without being consumed and the fire on the mountain at the Great Epiphany. Now, the instructions that follow is really just a handbook of priestly rules, so different from what has been read and what will be read. Now, this is primarily a book of instructions. And one of its Hebrew names actually was Torah Kohanim, which could aptly be translated as priestly teachings or priestly instructions. It's not for everybody, and it probably was never designed for everyone. It was designed as a handbook for the priest. Okay, and as I said, we get separation of the priesthood now and forevermore. Leviticus 8:1, and the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, take Aaron and his sons with him, and the clothes and the anointing oil, and the bull for the sin offering, and the 2 rams, and the basket of unleavened bread. Now, I said this parsha was about different types of offerings, which you will never be asked about. Well, here's one more. And he put everything on the palms of Aaron and on the palms of his son, and elevated them as an elevation offering before the Lord. An elevation offering. That's what the priesthood is going to be. The priesthood is about to be established and elevated above everyone else. Now, Leviticus has only 2 narrative accounts in its entirety. Okay, now the first is the story of the consecration of Aaron and his sons into the priesthood to establish the priesthood of Israel. And that comes up now in Leviticus 8-10. And the details of the rituals are impressive to read. They're filled with power and majesty, and it helps set the priesthood apart from all the rest of the people. Now, Moses personally performs all the sacrifices in this ceremony of ordaining Aaron and his sons as priests. But after this day, all sacrifices will be performed by Aaron and his sons, and never again by Moses. The mantle of spiritual leadership is being passed. And the parsha ends with the special select group getting ready for ordination. And of course, I still remember my ordination. And the wait will be 7 days, the magic number of the Bible. Leviticus 8:33. And you shall not go out from the tent of meeting for 7 days, until the day of completion of the days of your ordination, because he will fill your hand for 7 days. 7 days. Now this parsha ends with Aaron and his sons sitting for 7 days at the tabernacle's entrance, preparing for the climax that's coming in the next week, building anticipation for the inauguration of the priesthood. And so if we normally follow the weekly cycle of readings of the Torah, we emulate what's happening in the text because we wait 7 days to read the next installment, the ordination ceremony. Now, and to be sure that we get that connection, the next parsha is going to be called Shemini, 8th, to represent the 8th day. Now, if we pay proper attention to this, we come to the story of the inauguration with anticipation. So we appreciate the story, and we appreciate the power of what goes wrong in the story, the catastrophe of Nadab and Abihu, and the unique place that Aaron and his sons will now occupy. This year, of course, the intermediate days of Passover means we're really waiting, 14 days, but normally we would be waiting 7 days to observe the change and the ordination of the priesthood. 7 days. 7 more days she'll be coming. I'll be waiting at the station for her to arrive. 7 more days, all I gotta do is survive. 7 days. Now, I don't think it gives anything away, but on the 8th day, another series of sacrifices is pictured, but it is no longer Moses, as we were told, who performs them, but it's Aaron and his sons. Then Aaron blesses the people for the first time and enters the tent of meeting alongside Moses. That's the start of the priesthood, my friends. Now, yes, the world is sacred, and so is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, and be blessed. Share and honor the light, and all who live in the light continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone, and end to terror and hatred. Remember, we are a community. We learn together. We celebrate each other. We love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. So let's send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, good healing to all who need it. And please do. Learn to forgive and learn to love. Open your hearts and honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have. Enjoy the journey. I love all of you. Now, we take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow to learn to be to love. So please do love. Send healing, goodwill, and love to all who need it. Share your gifts with the world. Now, bless you all. Have a fantastic week, a week of love and light, a week of peace. Keep manifesting your new year. Have a fantastic Passover. We will be posting our Passover service in the next day or two. Honor the people of your life, and honor the journey you're on, and honor yourself. Remember, we do set in motion all that happens in our lives. Our intention, our cause, our effect, everything is linked. As I've said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You do have the knowledge of what is good and bad. So acknowledge what you have done wrong to yourself, to God, to any other person you've wronged, and ask forgiveness. And do so with sincerity, accountability, and vulnerability. Forgive those you have hurt. You learn to be forgiving and compassionate. Do not stop your journey, my friends. Do not stop moving towards your promised land. It is in sight. Keep on dreaming, keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching, keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear. Follow love. It is always in front of you. And remember to have faith and unwavering adherence to principle, just as I have faith in the principle of love and all of you. Now act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none. Defraud none. Hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God. Every creature of the earth. Now may all people know peace in this year. And may you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. Work to be present in the body. Expand the heart. Quiet the mind. Because the deepest source of real power lies in your consciousness and the ability to be present in all circumstances. Be mindful, people. Work on your intentions. Continue to believe in the promise of decency, of goodness, of humanity. Turn your dreams into your beliefs and your beliefs into reality. Put intent into the new beginnings of the spring of your life. Focus on being free. It's what this holiday is all about. And enjoy that taste of freedom. I'm free. I am free. You're free. And freedom. Taste of reality. Enjoy your freedom, my friends. We will post a little mini Passover service. Give love. Embrace love, not fear. Forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone because someone's always going to be there for you, whether you know it or not. Be happy, be healthy, be helpful, be kind and loving. Complete your 12-day makeover and have a great festival of freedom. Until next time, Shabbat Shalom. Take care.